Let's see what happens. Hey, two people like it, and hopefully you can actually chat. YouTube update on my phone has messed up the chats when I go into other people's streams. So if you guys can't talk to me here, hey Cooks, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Glad you can see you're actually able to chat. I don't know if you're on your phone or not. But earlier when I went to James Cox's live stream, the chat was completely missing from the stream. And I thought it was I had no idea what it was. I spent a couple of hours trying to figure it out. Um, yeah, on my computer the chat was fine. Through my cell phone and primarily with my account, I even tried other accounts that I have access to. The chat was there. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. And then I try to contact YouTube and say I'm having problem accessing chats and people's live streams. I tried it on multiple devices, and they're like, "Oh, we don't deal with those technical issues." Um, they gave me two links that I wasn't even able to like really look at because I finished the chat with them, the links went with the chat. um, but I couldn't figure it out, and they're like, "Oh, you might have been banned, but I can't confirm that." I'm like, "Why would I be banned? I didn't do anything." I even checked my back office. I didn't get any strikes. I didn't get any emails and notifications that I violated anything. So, um, and then I went into Alex Fisher's stream from my computer and asked anybody in there, and what Nightwolf or someone in his stream said he was having the same issue, that he believes it was the app. And then when I went to the Google Play Store, um, I saw a lot of complaints about a different feature that YouTube had changed in the Android YouTube app. Because I have a Android, I have a Samsung, so I don't play with Apple. But so I'm interested. I know it's late, so I don't expect too many people to come in here now. I was gonna start earlier, but I had a couple issues here at work that I had to take care of. I actually had to do work for a minute or two, or for an hour or two. Cause we had two cars parked in a spot that they shouldn't have been parked in, and they weren't leaving right away. And then we had a couple of people intoxicated walking near the property and getting combative. So we'll see what happens. But we'll see if I get any tweets during this, because I put in the thing, tweet me if there's issues with the chat. I swear, I only start yawning when I put on the stream. I was fine until I put on the stream. Just playing with Twitter for a second to see if anybody messaged me or not. But anyone that comes in, this, if you're not able to chat, go to my Twitter and let me know. The link is in the description. Hey, Nathan. Well, good to see that you're able to chat. I was having issues with it. I'm still having issues because I think YouTube's update for Android. I don't know if it's just Android, if it's for iPhone too, but apparently, whatever updates YouTube made to their app, I wasn't able to see anybody's chat when I went into their live streams. Even James Cox went into the stream, and I'm like, "Where's the chat? I can't even see it." And I checked somebody else's stream just before I came on, and the chat was up, but it wasn't like I didn't have the option of this shrinking it down. It's either I completely close the chat or I keep it open. So I don't know. I think they're messing around with the features, and I saw a lot of people weren't happy with the way they changed some of the features. And apparently, it's only affecting the the phone app. It's not affecting. Do you have iPhone or Android? And that's the thing. It seems like it's happening to random people. Cause I went into Alex Fisher's chat. Um, so you know what I'm talking about though, right? When you get the chat open, you know how when you go into like in here, the chat is usually closed at the bottom of your screen, and then you can collapse it up to pull it up to open the chat, and then shrink it back down so you can look at the description for the live stream, right? My phone automatically updated to the newest. Hey, how are you? Thank you for coming in, Snowy. I don't know, I don't know if my phone just completely updated. And that's the ironic thing, right? Is I have access to a couple of different accounts. I have access to my mother's account and another account. And at first, it wasn't affecting those accounts, and then it started to affect. It was starting to do it to those too. Now, like I said, I just checked. I clicked on somebody else's stream before starting mine to check it, and now you know how it has where the thumbs up is, and to be able to share the little icons. There's an icon for um, the chat now. You press that, the chat opens. You can watch it, but you can't collapse it back down. You have to. It's either you completely shut the completely shut it off the thing. But earlier I couldn't even access the chat at all. I didn't even see it. Like there wasn't anything that showed me that there was a stream. And anybody that comes in that doesn't see their chat, head over to my Twitter. The link is in the description, and just let me know that you're having that same issue. I'm just trying to find out. I'm hungry too. I wanted to order a burger. I thought I was going to be able to order a burger from a place nearby, but apparently Uber Eats wasn't willing to do it because it wasn't a place that closed until 1 o'clock. And but I guess with Uber Eats they stopped delivering from there at a certain point. But yeah, one of the other things people were I went to the app, the YouTube app, um, you know, from the Google Play Store. Thank you. I appreciate that, Diamond. I appreciate you all coming in and saying what's up and showing me that love. Um, but yeah, so what I was trying to say is, what was his name? Fisher. Well, it wasn't even my stream. It wasn't even my live stream. It was if I go into somebody else's stream, either the chat is completely missing or it comes up, but I can't just collapse it down. Now I have to completely close it out. But if I go into James Cox's stream, like earlier, I went into his stream, and there was no chat to be found. And I thought I might have accidentally changed the setting, you know, with my, with the phone being open in my pocket or something. I had no idea, and was having issues with my stream earlier. Um, I think it was just I had a bad connection. I'm not sure, but when I got home and I was about to put on James's live stream, there's no chat to be found you know, on the video. And it took me hours to try to try to finagle stuff, and I appreciate it. I'm glad y'all came in now and stuff. But yeah, I went to after asking around, um, one of the other creator streams that I was able to access the chat from my computer. One of the people in his chat said that they were having the same issue and they believe it was an update because they shut their phone. They did the exact same thing I did. They shut off their phone. They restarted their phone. They uninstalled and reinstalled the app, and they were still having the issue. So the fact that someone else was having the exact same issue, he was like, it has to be the app itself, the update to the app. They either changed the feature or it's a glitch or whatever. Because, like I said, I just went into somebody else's chat stream before I started mine, and the chat came up, but not in the same way. And now, like, there's a chat icon next to the like share button and the thumbs up and whatever. I'm like, why did you change it like that? Like, I keep seeing subtle things that they keep changing. I'm like, you're making it. And I agree with people. $400 what calories? But I don't know. They say the average you're supposed to eat is 2,000. But when I went to go check the reviews on the app in the Android in the Google Play Store, even the people in the reviews were saying they weren't happy with some of the changes. Like, specifically, one of the changes that they made was um, you couldn't like push the you couldn't view the video just where you wanted. You had to drag it to the point that you wanted to watch it. I forget what the slide bar or whatever, something like that. Hey, Tennessee, Tennessee, Tennessee. So the fact that everybody, whoever's coming in, is able to say hello, it's a good thing because well, it's a good and bad thing because it shows that at least people coming in, your chat is working. Because that was so, I literally spent like a couple of hours trying to figure out, you know, if it was something, if I did something or if there was a glitch or did I change a setting by accident. So, oh, you were sick, right? Snowy, you were sick. So yeah, it definitely has to be some kind of glitch because even earlier when I tried to do a test stream, there was the filters weren't available on the stream earlier. So I mean, hopefully they are fixing the glitches and changing stuff back because that was really like alarming. I'm like, how am I supposed to go into other people's chat streams and let them know that I'm actually there? Sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you're slowly starting to feel better. Pray for you to continue to be on a mend. Just a little distracted because it looks. I can't tell what I'm looking at in the distance. I'm hoping it's nothing and stuff, but that's good. Have you tried CBD oil for the seizures? Well, maybe with that you might not be able to. Because I heard a lot of good things about CBD oil and, people that suffer with tremors and seizures. I've seen a couple of little mini documentaries on people that use CBD oil on their children that had severe seizures and other ailments that, like, you know, the medications weren't doing anything, weren't even controlling anything, and they turned to CBD. Um, oh, sorry to hear that. And hello, Creator Alliance. How? So I am doing well. How are you, my friend? Hello. How's everybody else doing in the chat? Glad y'all in here. I started a lot later than I usually do, so I'm glad a couple people came in. I'm just watching the chat. Great way to look at life. Always find something to appreciate, and and it's one reason why I continue to do the live streams. I really do appreciate being able to connect with some people around the world, and you know, just relax and chill and relate, and you know, I almost didn't do a stream tonight because I didn't really feel like it. I really don't have much to say tonight. I was just curious about how many people would actually be able to use the chat because I was having so many issues earlier going into other people's streams. I wanted to see if anybody else was. Definitely a blessing, Snowy. Definitely a blessing. That's a good way to look at it. And as sad as it might sound, maybe that's why you went through it to be able to share with others and inspire others. It's kind of. I know a lot of people, question or they say why me or how, if there's really a God, why would He let this happen? This negative thing happen to a person, or what? No matter what the situation is, it's. I think as hard as it is to accept, you know, I feel like maybe it is true that some people are supposed to go through the hell that they go through. So when they come out of hopefully they do come out the other side in a better in a better situation that they can express it and share it with others, and you know, let others know that they're not alone, that they can reach out for help, or they are strong enough to move on or whatever. And it doesn't even have, you don't necessarily have to believe in God or a faith or whatever. It's just, something, and you drive, True. That's right. You are not alone. Always spread love. Always promote positivity. Even I'll speak from what I've learned about Islam. That there's a, right. You know, in Islam, in Arabic, they use the word Alhamdulillah, which is praise to God, and they use that whether they're having a good day or a bad day. A lot of times, if you ask someone, "How are you?" and at least from my experience, I've come across, you know, because of converting to Islam. Hello, how are you? Glad that you're able to talk in the chat. I had issues talking in a couple of live streams earlier from my phone. On my computer, it was fine, but on the phone, like the chat was nowhere to be found. That's why I named this stream what it is. Yeah, I converted to Islam in 2010. I did what they call the Shahada on video, on a live video chat with a friend that lives in New Zealand. Um, and then I started going to the local mosque on Fridays and started learning what I could. And I asked the few people that I met, including my in-laws. I would ask them, well, how do you say, "How are you?" and what would be the response? And they told me how to say, "How are you?" Kefahalik. And they said, no matter whether you're doing bad or good, you say Alhamdulillah. Praise to God. What is that about ISIS? And for the record, ISIS is not Islam, despite what they call themselves. And I will not go any further with the explanation of that. They do not represent any religion, despite what they say. But I am not going to get into that. The Islam I learned about is peaceful and beautiful. Some of the most beautiful people I've learned. Every religion has, every religious faith, or each faith has its own group of people that say they are part of that faith, and at the end of the day, they're not. Because if you follow your faith, every faith tells you to be kind. Every faith tells you to respect and love your neighbors. Every faith says to join your brother and sister in faith. I know there's religions out there that don't necessarily believe in God, but the ones that do believe in God, the ones that do believe in God, all the religions say the same thing. Join with your brother and sister in worship and faith of God. Whether you're following Jesus as your Messiah, or if you're following the Prophet Muhammad, you know, Latter-day Saints. I read a little bit on Mormonism years ago and stuff, and the summer, to be honest with you, the reason why I started reading about it is because of the Osmonds. I know Donny Osmond was very open about his faith and his religion, and I was like, to be honest with you, even though I converted to Islam, I consider myself more of a free spirit than a religious person. I feel like I'm more on the spiritual side of things, where, I see the connection between everything, and I can look at each religion and see how they're connected, and, you know, right. And I grew up in a Catholic, in a Catholic household. We weren't strict Catholics, but, I was Christian. Uh, you know, I was in the church. Yeah. I don't know about in Mormonism, but I know people know that in Islam, men are able to have multiple wives. But here's the stipulation. There is a stipulation to that I found out about, that I read about. That if you can't provide for each wife the equally, then they say, you know, one wife is enough. And from what I heard, it really depends on the region and where people are from, where even though that's religiously acceptable, it's not something that is encouraged to happen. You know, some of the Islamic countries, they don't really, they don't necessarily frown upon it, because it is, it does say in the Quran that you can marry have more than one wife, but they really try to promote the, you know, just husband and wife, and not husband and multiple wives. So but again, the stipulation to that is, unless you can treat and provide for multiple women, for multiple wives, Yeah, that's not good. But yeah, and like I said, even though I converted to Islam, at the end of the day, and here's another misconception. People think that Muslims worship Muhammad like Christians and Catholics may call Jesus, you know, their savior. Muhammad is not Islam's savior. He's a prophet that spoke the word of God and told them to worship God and not him. And in Islam, they talk about Jesus, they talk about David, they talk about Noah, they talk about Moses, and they're all seen as prophets. And they all had the same message: don't worship me, worship God. But I think, you know, I think that's my only issue when it comes to, hello, thank you for coming in. And anybody else that comes in that doesn't see the chat in the stream or can't message into the chat, tweet me and let me know, because I just want to see how many other people have that issue. And if anybody comes across this at a later time, if you found that you had that issue, had chat issues in other people's live streams, let me know, because I want to know. I only came across one other person that had the same issue that I was having earlier. But at the end of the day, if the faith you follow happens to believe in God, that's what That's what most of the major religions believe in at the end of the day. And even if you're Buddhist, I don't think Buddhists necessarily believe in God, but they do still believe in the basic morals. Snowy, you just made me think of one of my t-shirt designs. I have a t-shirt design called "You Are Enough," and it has a big teardrop. Well, it could be what you want it to be. It could either be a teardrop or a drop of water. I would say more of a drop of water, because a drop of water is enough to start to rejuvenate something. and begin to cleanse something. It's one of my. I don't know if it's necessarily one of my favorite designs, but it's one of my more simplistic designs. That if you see the drop in the middle of the shirt, that. And I'm not trying to plug aloveproductions to get you to buy something, but you should check out the shirts on my website. Even if you don't buy anything, I think you'd appreciate, a lot of what I have there. aloveproductions.com. The link is in the description. And so, of course, I want you to buy something, but I'm not, just from hearing your story, like, it's stories like yours that, is the reason why. No, that's fine. But it's stories like that, is one of the reasons why I created aloveproductions.com and made the designs that I've made. Because all of them have positive affirmations on them. Like I said, I have the one shirt that says, "You are enough." I have another one that says, "I am powerful." I have another one that says, "Love yourself," with a beautiful, like, multifaceted heart type design that even I didn't realize it until I really looked at it, that it's unintentional, but it unintentionally looks like somebody holding a heart. But what it was meant to be was just a cool heart design that turned into looking like something, completely different. It looks like both, actually, depending on how long you stare at it. But it's one of my, that one's one of my favorites. I also have another one that's called "You Are Love," that has "You Are" on the going straight down, and then a big fanned out heart. Well, that's not just for the youth. And Nathan, I'm not sure yet, because I think I want to redesign it a little bit. But I did at one point have a t-shirt design that was a drum. It was a snare drum and kind of had like the beam of light. Like I had three lines going down that to represent like a spotlight on the drum. And then on the side of one of the lines, it said, I forget what it said. It said, beat the drum of your own life. Or beat a beat to your own life. Or something like that. Something along that lines. I took it off the website because I wasn't 100% happy with the overall design. I had multiple colors for that. I don't have it on the website right now. But because you've been such a great supporter, I'm kind of thinking of revisiting that design sometime soon to see if I should redesign it a little bit and then put it back on the site. No, I understand. Not everybody can afford it. And to be honest with you, if I can make the shirts cheaper, I would. Because I'm not even making a huge profit off of it. Just so I can make a profit. And, if I wanted to make a good profit, I'm not even going to make $10 off most of those shirts. I'm gonna make maybe $7 to $8 per shirt. But I don't. For me, I don't necessarily care about that part of it. Yeah, I want to make money, obviously, but the intention behind the shirt is more important to me. You know, behind all my designs. Same thing with YouTube. Same thing with anything I do. As much as I want to make money, and I know the money will come, my intention is to spread love and positivity and uplift. But yeah, there's a couple of designs that I have that even I go, I don't know. But I have a handful of ones that, like, I look at them, I go, I made that. Nice. I was watching a video about a week or so ago to see what the difference between Etsy and Shopify was. And the difference is, I guess one of the differences is that you have more control over your Shopify store than you do over Etsy. But the upside to Etsy is they do a lot of the promotion for you. Versus with Shopify, you have to do a lot more legwork. I had that issue earlier during the live stream, during my radio live stream. And I don't know if I'm going to do the live stream again. I want to do live streams for my radio show, but sometimes the Wi-Fi connection is really bad, and I really don't want to, and it gets a little difficult for me to try to multitask and talk to the stream and do um, the only reason why I like to do the live stream is because if anybody. Well, no, Shopify's not this shirt. Shopify's a little bit of everything. Because apparently people make stores with, like, random crap. you know? I know a lot of YouTubers use Shopify because if you look at the bottom of their merch sites, it will say operated by Shopify. But when I first started out with Shopify, people, if you look up Shopify on YouTube, you'll find things on selling T-shirts, but there's people that just sell random products. I'm sure some people know how to maneuver those sites. I don't completely, even though I have a store, and they know how to even sell their own stuff on those stores. But I guess there's pros and cons to both Etsy and Shopify. And I didn't even know what Etsy was because I guess people sell T-shirts and stuff on Etsy too. And if I remember correctly, there was one person that I watched that did a review on what the pros and cons of each site were. And they suggested to do, have a site with both. Um, but I would have to look more into Etsy because I don't want to, I don't know if I have to give up any rights to my designs, anything if I do that, go through them, and I want to keep the rights to all my everything that I create. That's the only that's the only area that I tend to get a little more protective and whatever. I want to keep the rights to my creations. Ah, okay. Maybe I'll look into it and see how they have it how they set it up and whatever. See if I get if I get anything from it. But yeah, no, but like I said, you know, you definitely made me think of my "You Are Enough" shirt. Maybe I'll look into it for that because my mother keeps telling me, why don't you sell your art? And I do want to get into making prints of my artwork. And I know I can do that with my Shopify store. Um, but if I can actually have a chance of them actually selling through Etsy, then maybe I'll do that. I don't know. The only issue I have right now is I need good lighting to be able to take a good enough picture of my artwork to try to make prints off of them. Like either I have to. Nice. Do they give you free samples of your prints, or do you have to pay to get samples of your prints? That's something I would be interested in finding out. Because before I sell anything, I would like to be able to see what a copy or a print of an art piece would be. At least for the paintings, obviously. Cool. Well, when I get around to it, I'll look into it. I already slack off enough on my Shopify store, and I'm actually paying for that. I'm really glad you guys are in here tonight. Yeah. Have you actually managed to sell anything? Okay, no problem. Thank you for hanging out and talking. I appreciate it. may you be blessed. Continue to be blessed. And I think I'll actually end it as well. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. I really do appreciate you and appreciate you coming in and showing me some love. No problem. You'll be there. So, again, thank you for everybody that came in. Anybody that comes into this later, you make it to the end. I appreciate it. And again, if you guys have trouble in even anybody else's live streams with the chats or whatever, let me know in my Twitter or even in the comments of this if you can get to the comments on this. Because I'd like to know anybody else that's been having chat or any kind of issues with YouTube, at least through your cell phone, because it works fine on my computer, but on here on my cell phone, YouTube's been tweaking a little bit. So with that, I'm gonna end it. Thank you all for watching. As always, like, love, share, and inspire. Don't forget, love is everything. Much love. Peace.